So if you've watched any of our videos, you probably know I always have projects going on. And here on the front mound, I have several projects that I thought I'd just point out to you, show you the progress, and so you can sort of get a feel for how things are going. This particular cluster of plants, this is all hairy mango seedlings. And this usually happens. You got one seedling that becomes dominant, and then there's these other ones down here that are just, trying to get by. So we started off with, I think there were 8, and it looks like we're down to like 4 or 5. So what I intend to do is I want to check out each of these varieties, see if any of them produces fruit that is superior or at least different than Carrie. And so what I'll do is prepare scions from these little ones that are getting crowded out, and then I'll graft it onto this plant here. So that will be a good long-term experiment, because it won't matter that these plants die out because they'll be growing up here on this tree. And then over here we have sort of a similar situation. This original tree here, which is now just a post, was Harvest Moon. It was just a little too tough of an environment for this tree at that time, and it was dying. So I planted seeds around it. I believe that these were sweet tart seeds, and I was thinking that we would have 4 seedlings. I planted one on each side of this trunk. We just have one. That's okay. It will have 2 purposes. One is that I will harvest a scion. I've already started that, and graft that somewhere, and then this can become rootstock. I can graft other scions on it. Then over here, we had another tree that was dying out. It was looking really bad, and this is the trunk here. And so I planted more seeds around it. Got 3 seedlings that are product of that experiment, or that part of the experiment. But an interesting thing happened is this original tree got a second life. So this part is all rotted, but then we have this very nice branch coming out here. Now, this was, this bark is just coming off, so I don't really know what was happening there, but if this is the grafted part of that particular tree, it's Jacqueline. So don't think the leaves look particularly like Jacqueline, but we'll have to keep our eye on that. But with these other seedlings, I marked them. This is number 2 seedling. Put the number on the tree itself, and I've harvested scions from each of these and marked, creatively 1, 2, and 3. So these seedlings I wanted to graft scions on in another place, which is just over here. So right here, that's the number 3 seedling it's taken. And this one is number 2, which I'm guessing this is number 1 right here. And this is the last one that I put on. It's starting to grow right there. So I'll let that produce some mature leaves. These leaves need to get mature too. And then, these are both cleft grafts, and this is a side graft here, side veneer. But after this one takes, we'll cut back this part of the seedling tree, and we will have all 3 varieties from that particular cluster on this tree. Now, there's a lot of good reasons to do this. Basically, you only need 1 scion from a seedling to find out if that seedling is actually of superior variety or makes a superior variety of fruit. And so this is a very compact way of doing it. Basically there's 3 branches on this seedling. They all will be grafted, and then perhaps in 3 or 4 years we'll get fruit. All we need is 1 fruit from each branch to evaluate it. Meanwhile, those original seedlings I can either leave as they are now, or I can use them as base plants and top work them with known varieties. So all of these trees, it's a little bit harsher environment up here because we are up on a mound. There's not irrigation going to any of these trees, so we rely on the precipitation, and sometimes of year that's pretty harsh. But these plants have survived, their root systems are good, and so it's a good time to graft, not only to graft on as part of the experiment, but then also to consider grafting superior known varieties onto these trees once we have established them somewhere else.